Now last time we had just left off where we had finished transplanting some broccoli over here into this side greenhouse that I have. Now right now we're seeing, that's 5 days later, and there were 10 plants altogether, and about 5 of them survived. And they seemed like they were looking good. Now, what we want to do today is bring you up to date. So this is 10 days later, and here's how things look right now. Well, it's the 11th of June, and I thought some of you might want to see what happened to these broccoli plants that I planted. If you remember from the last time when I planted these, I had 10 of them here. And 5 of them took, and 5 of them didn't quite like living. But let me show you these. These are really doing well. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, there's one that's just barely doing it. And this one's doing really good, and that one's looking pretty good, and that one's looking good, and that one. And you see, this one didn't make it, and that one didn't make it. So what I've got is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe the 6th one if you want to count that last one. But they're doing all very well, and they're broccoli. So this is gonna really provide a nice little harvest. Now in the rest of these, there are seeds that I planted, and they haven't come up yet. I planted these about 2-3 days ago, so they're not up yet. But anyway, what I wanted to show you today was my new raised garden bed that I planted. Now I'm going to plant beans in there today, and that's down in the main greenhouse. So let's go on down there and I'll show you. Now these are my brand new grow beds that I just installed in here, and I really like these grow beds like this because well, they're kind of, waist level, and it's very easy to deal with them. And if you have to pick out weeds, it's quite easy. You don't have to get down on your hands and knees. Kind of like in the other greenhouse, the little greenhouse over there. If you want to, I've got potatoes and corn growing over there, but they're in the soil on the ground. And boy, you just have to bend down and crawl around and pick all the weeds and that kind of stuff. It grows stuff pretty well, but bending down and picking all the weeds, I'm just not a fan of doing that. Well, you can kind of see in here what I mean. This is that other greenhouse. You see there's potatoes down there growing, and they're doing quite well, but if you get weeds in there and you have to pull them out, you have to kind of get down on your hands and knees to get them out of there. And I'm really not a fan of that. See, there's some corn on this side, and same thing, you got to get down on your hands and knees and get the weeds out of there. Well, these are a couple of potato plants that are volunteers, and I think they're leftovers from last year. They're sweet potatoes, I think. Well, anyway, back to the other thing that we were discussing over there in the greenhouse. Anyway, these are just great because everything is right here at waist level, and it works really great. Now, what I'm going to plant in here is beans. I'm going to plant some blue light beans, and I did this last year and the year before, and over here in this little section over here, and boy, they turned out really well. Okay, well that's about it. Now, here's what we got. Let me show you. This is today. Here's what we got. Well, now this is brand new soil that I've got in here. I've mixed in a little bit of sawdust and some other things, and hopefully this will produce a good crop for me this year. Do you remember these beets that I planted a while back? Well, looks like I've got a celery plant growing up in the middle of these. Well, these are doing really well, and I wanted to show you how well they're doing. I'm going to pull a weed out. Look at that, weeds up there. Anyway, let me show you these. These are really, really doing well. Okay, now as you can see there's a good size beets on there. You could actually pull these up right now and start eating them. See, there's a few sizes. That's not too big, and they're all doing really, really well. So you can see some over here that are, there's one that looks fairly big. I mean, if I was to start pulling these out selectively, oh, there's a nice big one. See down in there. If I was to start pulling these, see if I can get that out of there. There we go. There's a nice big one right there. So if I was to start pulling these out selectively, I could start harvesting these right now. But I'm going to let them grow bigger because they'll get really, really big. But anyway, the harvest is going to be good. And these are doing really, really well. Really pleased with these. Now let's go over here and look at the Brassicas over here. Now I don't remember which is which, but you can see how these are growing. Well, look at those down there. Now these, I'm not sure, you know, what I got here is, you know, there's a mixture here of broccoli and cauliflower and so forth, and I can't remember which are which, but you see right here, I think these are all broccoli, but you can see they're growing quite well, and those are growing quite well. Now it's interesting that these are growing seemingly a lot better than those down there. And the only difference I can think is, see, I've got a fan down there to blow air across here, and maybe that air down there is too much and this air is just right, and as you can see, they're doing quite well. So this is going to work out very, very well. Now these grapevines that I have, I wanted to show you something here. If you look at this, you see this this little growth here. Now this wasn't here yesterday. That's how fast these things grow. See, here's another one, another vine that's trying to grow, and you see up here there's another one there, and there's two more there, right there. See this one and this one. There's two more. See, there's some more there. Now I have to keep these trimmed every day. And that is how fast they've grown. Yesterday, these, like this one, it wasn't there. And I don't know where it went. Look at that. Holy smokes. Couldn't have grown that much. But, you know, they'll grow, I would think, 3-4 inches in a day, it seems like. See, here's another one right here. This wasn't here yesterday. And there's another one here. These, that's one thing about grapes, is... oops, there goes my cooler. The grapes grow really fast. Now here on this side, see how many grapes are forming. Lots and lots of them. And if you look, we'll see over here some brand new grapevines reaching out and trying to grow somewhere. Well, I guess maybe not. But look at this. Look at this side here. See, there's a nice bunch of grapes. Now they've still got a lot of ripening to do. And there's one that's a little smaller. See, that does too. And there's a whole lot of bunches of grapes in here. And you see, so this is going to do really well for me. And we're going to try to make raisins out of these because there's way too many for us to eat. I thought I'd show you how these Diva cucumbers are doing. You can see that they're growing, and if you look right down in there, you can see there's some cucumbers that are starting to form out here on the vines. Yeah, there's another one right down in there if you can see it. It's down in there. But anyway, they're growing really well, and these ought to do pretty good. Now the other kind, I can't remember the name of these, the freshly or something. I'll put these down there. But look at these. These are quite a bit further ahead. As you can see, they've got, you know, they're blossoming, and you can see there are cucumbers forming. See, there's some right there. See, so there's cucumbers forming here, and so these are a lot further along as far as producing cucumbers are, and so this is going to do us well. And I've got the cucumber vine thing here ready to go. So these are doing quite well, and I'm really pleased with these. And it looks like to me that these are going to start producing first, and then those will, you know, pick up when these kind of die off. So this is going to do good. These cucumbers are doing well. If there's anything I'd like to leave you with today, it's just the impression that it's not that hard to grow a lot of your own food. This greenhouse isn't that big, and I didn't put it up all in one night, and I did it myself. But you know, one piece at a time, one step at a time, and as long as you keep working at it, you'll get there. And what I've got here is you know, there's broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, beets over here, and then I've got strawberries, and then I've got peas, which are not growing too well. I've got grapes that are over here. We're going to make raisins out of those. And then, of course, we've got celery everywhere, and then we've got cucumbers, 2 varieties of cucumbers. And so when the harvest comes, we should have an abundance of beets, all kinds of brassicas, cucumbers, and also grapes, which we're going to turn into raisins. But, you know, and also there's potatoes outside of the other greenhouse, potatoes and corn. This isn't a very big area, and you could do this. Anybody could do this if you just try. Even if you have a standard-sized backyard, you know. This building here is only, I think, 12 by 24 or something like that, and it's about as big as somebody's garage, actually. But this is doable, and when I get this done, these new grow beds, I'll have beans out here, green beans, just, you know, maybe 20 pounds of them, and I'm going to grow carrots on the other side. And the other thing about it is that you know what's in here. You go to the grocery store, the produce rack, you're not sure what they use to, the chemicals, I mean, to grow those things, the fertilizers. And I'm not knocking it. I mean, to get the production rates that they have to have, you got to do something like that. But for your own self, in your own backyard, you can take your time. It's absolutely astonishing how much food you can actually grow if you just try.